Alright, what you see here is a new fan I bought off of Facebook Marketplace here in the Dominican Republic. This is a Sanyo industrial ceiling fan in 56 inches. Yes, this is the exact same model that I already have, the one that I got from the L&R furniture store that had the noisy bearings, fell in between the beds so the blades got bent. And then I acquired it many years ago and it had that KDK canopy above it for the top canopy. This is the exact same model. I got this because these don't show up often, and also this one's in pretty good shape cosmetically, except for the blades that need to be repainted. That's about it. Honestly, this ain't the original control, but I do actually have the control that these would have used. I forget what video it was or which fan I got it with, but I do have a Sanyo control that is actually for one of these. I just don't remember which one I got it off of. It might have been for one of the universals that I got it, but they accidentally. It was the I know which one it was, the brown universal with the black lines. That one came with a Sanyo control and such, and it was a 5-speed control. I remember bringing it back to the U.S. So I don't know if I ever showed it, but I remember I got that control with it. So I actually do have the proper control that these only came with, so I can test. I was actually I'm planning to retest the other one. Finally, well, I never tested it myself in the collection, but back when I was at L&R, just on the high speed. But since it has such noisy bearings, I still rather get it in better shape first before doing so. But since this one has practically silent bearings, I don't have to worry about doing any work to this one really. It's dead silent. Here's the info on top of it. I'm not sure how to date code this one, but my guess is it looks like it's maybe from 1997 based off of the last two numbers. And here's the info on top, which unfortunately got worn off of the other one that I have back when I repainted it. But when I was like cleaning it off a bit, it kind of got wiped off, unfortunately. But I do have this one now that has the info on top. And I don't plan to repaint the motor at all. I'm just going to leave it alone the way it is. The blades, however, I'm definitely going to restore. The one that I have was obviously in much worse shape than this one. And interestingly enough, this one does have both the upper and lower canopy. But the upper canopy doesn't have the Sanyo logo. I'm not sure if that was just a thing that's only after some amount of time they stopped doing it, or if later on they started doing it. Because there was only one time I remember seeing these being sold new, and it was at La Cienena, but it was like in an off-white finish. And it didn't, I don't remember it having a sticker there, but I remember it had like that thing on the bottom, the switch cap that looked like the KDK one and such. But I don't know if that was like a new old stock I just never sold, but I don't know when these were sold. Like if they were sold in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. I don't think they were sold in the 2000s at that point, but they could have been. I feel like these are more of a 90s thing, maybe. It's possible from the 80s, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so this is where these are like hip adaptable, and there would have been like a medallion thing there that doesn't spin. It's just for decoration. Kind of like with the SMC M48s, they have like that silver chrome button thingy. That's actually what they look like. I do have a video in front of the store that actually has a few. I think it's like one of them that still has a switch cap thing on it while I was spinning, which I posted in the link of it in the description below. But yeah, the blades on this one also did not bend at all like the other one is. So I definitely will borrow apart the blades from this one and the other one, possibly just to test the other one in better shape. Or I might just try to straighten those ones out just for the heck of it, because they're the original ones. I am keeping both of them. I was thinking of maybe sending this to the museum, but I'm like, it is nice to have one that's actually in good shape. And they're not really extremely rare down here, because I feel like I've been seeing some of them a little bit more often than before, but they're still hard to come by and get your hands on and such. But they're definitely worth putting in a museum. If I can find another one, I would definitely loan that or donate it to the museum, but this is my only other one. This is the only one that I have that's actually in good shape, so I'd rather not send it. I mean, I don't mind loaning it at some point in the future, but definitely not right now. Especially since I still need to work on the other one, so I kind of want to have one that's in good shape to kind of compare in case I need to like swap the capacitors or any of that good stuff and such, and just to compare like the bearings and such. But yeah, it's definitely a pretty solid fan. I mean, I do know these. I remember when I tested the other one at the furniture store before I acquired it at the it seemed to have moved more in than the indicated case actually, so definitely these are pretty powerful. And let me see if I can get the canopy up a second. And there's the capacitor info. 6.5 UF. Okay, so that explains it because it's a 6.5 UF capacitor. So it goes a bit faster. And this one doesn't really have a date thing on the capacitor. But the capacitor doesn't look too old, so it definitely looks more like a 90s thing, to be honest. Which would make sense. I mean, it definitely looks like it's something that probably would have came out in the 90s. I mean, the models that they sell on here, they kind of do look more like vintage ones anyways. So I'm not too surprised in that regard. But, I mean, all industrial models kind of have a vintage look to them anyways, you know, honestly, even nowadays. But, yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.